So, functional MRI is going to tell you something functionally about what's going on in the brain, and it's based on the magnetic properties of hemoglobin. So, fMRI begins with an MRI. You gotta hold still, and you gotta, for the entire experiment actually, and you got to look first at the differential distribution of hydrogen ions, and you get a beautiful image, and then overlaying that beautiful spatial image, you actually are going to track comparisons between blood flow in the brain under, let's say, experimental and control conditions. So it's the fMRI component. The functional component is based on the magnetic properties of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is what we call diamagnetic, where there's effectively no detectable response to a magnetic field or just a very slight repulsion. When it's oxygenated, when it's carrying oxygen, but it's paramagnetic, which means that it has a weak attraction to magnetic fields when the field is present, when it is deoxygenated. So the magnetic resonance, what they call the MR signal of blood, is therefore slightly different depending on the level of oxygenation. And like when you are utilizing an area of the brain, right, when there's a lot of synaptic activity occurring in a particular region, remember those astrocytes are coupling detection of that enhanced neurotransmitter release to dilations of capillaries that are feeding, and supporting that area of the brain. So these differential signals, you get this massive increase or this increase in oxygenated blood coming into an area where there's dilation because of enhanced, neuronal synaptic activity. This can be detected using an appropriate sort of MR pulse sequence as what they call the blood oxygen dependent or bold contrast. So they get a bold signal. And so fMRI is really overlaying changes in blood flow. They give, colors, to, how they're going to depict, these bold signal changes, on the initially acquired MRI of the brain. But it's really measuring changes in blood flow that are linked to changes in actual neuronal activity.